Makan, boleh ba kalau kau?
You put 32 ethnic groups together, give it one of the highest peaks in the world, and then surround it with surreal natural beauty. Mix it all up, and bam, you have Sabah.
I arrived on this beautiful land at evening just in time for one of Malaysia's most glorious sunsets. I did not rush into eating, but instead, I decided to sit back, enjoy a drink, and take a moment to appreciate life and all it has to offer. It's been a long journey, my throat needed some rest, and I knew exactly where to go.
Do you know how relaxed I am right now? I don't think I've been this relaxed in a long time, man. I feel like I'm on cloud 9. This restaurant right here at Kasih Sayang Resort is strategically placed for you to be able to enjoy the best of all worlds.
It's surrounded by forested hills on Kokol Hill, the highest point in Kota Kinabalu at 750 meters above sea level. Just look at it. It's one of those things you have to put on your to-do list. And after a good night's rest, I hope that my voice had recovered.
Imagine waking up one morning and having the urge to milk a cow. Where on earth are you going to do that? Well, I'm in Desa Kettle Dairy Farm in Kundasang, and I'm gonna milk old Betsy and cut that off my bucket list. Yeehaw!
I guess my voice still needed a bit more time. Perhaps some milk could help. Desa Kettle Dairy Farm is the largest in Sabah with an area of 199 hectares, and at 2,100 meters above sea level, I had to get suited up before the milking process.
You know, when you go meet the queen, you have to dress properly. When you go meet the cows, you got to dress properly also.
Huh? I felt like a doctor going into an operation theater, and the cows were my patients.
So as you can see, the cows are here, and it smells. Oh, these guys wear a different color, see? They wear raincoats, because you never know, these guys might just spray on you. So, it's a tough life, huh, being a cow? I thought so. I tell you what, I love eating your kind, I love drinking the produce from your kind, I respect your kind. Let's hug it out. Let's hug it out. Okay, let's hug it out. Hug it out. If you want to know what it's like to get a really fresh glass of milk or some milk for your cereal, it all begins here, where these guys start to wash their tits.
Did you know that each of these Frisian cattle could produce at least 14 liters of milk a day? That's a whole lot of milk.
So thankfully, I don't have to go the old school way of trying to milk a cow. I can just do it, you know, the technological way. It's not as easy as it looks. Here we go, guys. And there you have it. Simple as that. I've never had to use anything else rather than my hands when I, you know.
Yeah, so anyways, after milking my cow, or rather watching my cow being milked, I waited patiently for the process of my milk to reach me in a carton.
This stuff can't get any fresher. This literally got out of the cow about 10 minutes ago. Oh, my goodness. It is probably the best milk I've ever tasted in my life. Actually, second. Doesn't get fresher than this. Got milk. One thing you gotta do when you come to Sabah is you gotta make sure you come to this dairy farm and get a glass or a liter of this milk because it is absolutely fresh. Drinking fresh milk like this at high altitude with the fresh air makes you want to do crazy things, you know? The hills are alive with the sounds of music. Legolas, what does your elvish eye see? The Uruks head northeast. They're taking the hobbits to Isengard. We dwarves are natural sprinters.
We made it, Mr. Frodo. We made it back to the Shire. I'm glad you're here with me, Cal. Here at the end of all things. This place makes me feel like I'm in Middle-earth.
Very cowboy. Absolutely mind-blowing, mind-blasting, mind-vaporizing. After World War II, they stopped dropping bombs and peace came into the air. Now in KK, there's one kopitiam that pays tribute to the sacrifice that makes our heritage. And the food is the bomb.
Borneo 1945 Museum Kopitiam was created to honor and remember our allied forces of the World War II heroes who liberated us from the Japanese. Affectionately known as the Australian place, because this is the exact location where the soldiers set up their campsite.
This is a great way to start your morning, man. This coffee right here, it is cold, smells good. It's not too strong. I quite like this. You know how then you put ice in your coffee to make it kopi peng, right? But what happens is then you dilute the coffee, which is not very nice. What they do is they put it in this bottle, they seal it up, and then they put it in the fridge for a long time. So it comes out ice cold, and because it's bottled, it stays cold. So it's really, really nice without the dilution.
This one is an old time, when we are younger time, when we want to drink coffee bottle in cold, in chill coffee, the one they put it in the bottle. This is what the old time yum cha.
Next up, this is what you call a mi kota balut. It's really cool because somebody made daging masak hitam and then they just put it on top of some noodles and they mixed it together and that's what you get. That's a mi kota balut.
It's very difficult for us to find a noodles that in hand mix now. But we found it in Kota Balut.
Some people say Kota Balut is a very cowboy town. It's got some sweet spices in here. I mean sweet, yeah? Very simple with the noodles, but they got some beef on top. Tender as tender can be. Because your masak hitam comes with your bunga cengkeh and your star anise, your sweet sort of spices, those roots. Very cowboy, extremely raw and simple. I love it. Here's another thing that's supposedly good here. Not just the chicken pandan, but the sambal. That, by far, is one of the most different sambals I've ever tasted in my life. The taste is rich. It's got some sort of seafood goodness to it. They've blended something in there. You know, maybe more of those little shrimps or ikan bilis or something like that. Amazeballs. Okay, check this out, man. Moment of truth. Ayam pandan time. It's soft, it's lush, it's juicy on the inside, not so crispy on the outside. It's just perfect, and it's got the right amount of herbs, not the kind that's going to overbear the taste.
And we use all the Malaysian spice to marinate it and wrap it in a pandan leaf that normally only Malaysian, in Asian we have this pandan leaf, yet in Europe, overseas country, they don't have this pandan leaf.
You don't mind just gnawing into that. Look at that again. Absolutely perfect. Guys, I got one more thing on my list. It's an Anzac biscuit. You know what Anzac stands for? It stands for Australian New Zealand Army Corps. The story with this, it's actually an energy bar. Back then, people made these biscuits. The mothers, the wives, the loved ones of the soldiers made these biscuits. This was supposed to represent the love you had for the soldiers. And the tradition of this biscuit has just gone on from generation to generation to generation. This place here retains this culture here today.
Lesson learned? We should never forget our past. It is the foundation that built our existence. So come here, get a bottle of coffee, sit back, and appreciate history.
The whole decor, the whole getup is amazing. It really speaks what it stands for, that World War II, 1945 time. And you got a great World War II biscuit for a great World War II drink. That and all, ladies and gentlemen, is what Best in the World is all about.
Museum Kopitiam, best in the world.
Then as I was driving along Jalan Kepayan, I remembered someone telling me about the warung and their nasi lalap that I must try. What's that? I'm about to find out.
Nasi lalap satu bungkus ya. I'm trying to find the leader of this tribe. It's quite a difficult job. Everybody seems to just be doing their thing. I have a good idea who she is though.
I did manage to find her, but she was so busy, just like every other person out there. This place has a kitchen busier than any restaurant I've ever been to. My guess is probably because of their food and the overwhelming variety that they serve. So I decided to do something different.
So I've got my nasi lalap and my teh cincau. Now to the train station.
Kereta Api Negeri Sabah, or formerly known as North Borneo Railway, is currently the only rail transport system operating on the island of Borneo. It consists of a single 134-kilometer line with the highest international service standards. But what am I doing here?
So I got my nasi lalap and I got my teh cincau. Now I needed an RRR. And this time my RRR is not what I eat, but where I eat it. All aboard! This is the way forward. Sitting down in a train, having yourself a nasi lalap. This is real kampong stuff, man. Nasi lalap is actually like nasi ulam because it comes with your ulams, comes with your chicken, your tempeh and your tofu. But the reason they call it lalap is because it comes with a couple of special vegetables, and that's called lalapan. It's fresh, it's nice, and you can totally enjoy it while you're sitting down on a train. The locals here go for this particular one, and you can get it at this place called the Warung. Ask any Sabahan or any person from KK, where's the Warung? They will point you to the direction of this nasi lalap. And here's the next best part about it. This place has this amazing drink called teh cincau. Now I was like, what's the speciality here? Basically, it's really thick tea, right? It's those low-grade tea, but the best kind. It's like the real crux of it. Then they put in 2 types of milk in there and some cincau. Perfect. Tell you what, guys, sometimes it's not about what you eat. It's also about where you eat it. And I think this, being on a train in Sabah, just seeing the sights and absorbing the people's food is the best in the world, man. This feeling, can't buy it. Actually, you can. The food was $10 and this ticket for the train is 85 cents. That's a lot cheaper than a bus ride in KL.
And after finishing my food, you know you want to make full use of your 85 cents. So I decided to take a pit stop to see what else I can get.
Hey, wait for me! Hey! Power, but I'm just wondering why is it called an elephant's trunk?
Since I'm all the way here, why bother looking for simple snacks when I can do it Sabahan style ba? Some call it grilled, some call it barbecued. Who cares? It's Lokan Panggak!
When you're in Sabah, particularly in KK, this is how you roll. This is a tea time thing, man. You usually start, hey, let's have something sweet, some kueh. No. Here, you go for the lokan. Just lovely shellfish. You saw that thing, man. It's just a piece of metal which they put some fire underneath and then the thing opens up and they jet some of the sauce. Oh, it's so good, it can give you a seizure. What the people say is right. You gotta really get that juice out. See what I mean? Once its moisture sort of like comes out, you don't lose it. It doesn't evaporate. What it does is it sticks around for you to just drink up. Now that is beautiful, fresh sauce. Goodness, that's amazing. They even have like a special chilli here. Now let's just give that a bit of a taste first, you know, as one does. This is the first spicy sambal I've encountered since I got here. It's also really sour, obviously because it's got a lot of lime juice in there. So once you mix it all up, that sambal totally kicked in. That is power. Let's do that again. This is definitely good sambal. It was designed for this stuff. Really, really spicy. Whew. But enough of that. Let's try this. I've had every single kelapa you can think of. I've had kelapa ice kelapa, kelapa jelly kelapa, kelapa otak engkau, everything, okay? But I was mistaken.
This is kelapa bakar. They just take a whole coconut and put it in this big tong. Then they let it burn till it literally becomes black. Then they chop the shell off, and what you get inside...
Very slight hint of smokiness in the flesh of the coconut itself. And look, inside, clean. It's cleaner than Singapore. Of course, when we all drink kelapa, we think ice, right? No harm. This is very interesting. I like it. So, if you're ever in KK, you have to come to Jalan Sulaman to do what these guys do. Sit down, drink heap loads of coconuts while eating on some lokan. All this at Kampung Salud. And for this, I salute you.
Then there's one last thing I must pay respect to before leaving this beautiful land with a big, beautiful ocean. You can never leave Sabah without feasting on their bountiful seafood. Gayang Seafood Restaurant, established in 2002, is the perfect place to enjoy an array of delightful marine cuisine fresh from the water. And with special treatment from the owner himself, Datuk Peter took me to where the magic happened.
I've been given the great honor to catch my own dinner today. It's so nice to be out in the open and in a place where you have to be careful. With the will of a ninja. Need a red snapper. Yes! Look at how manly I am now that I've caught 2 fish. This is the best part about being here. They will never run out because they have an an unlimited supply. Hey! I'm warning you, now that we have a fish, we're gonna have masak nyonya steam. Did you hear that, darling? I'm gonna masak nyonya steam you. I got a fish. I got a fish. Or do you want to be a fish? A fish is an animal.
While my fish was being nyonyad, I took the liberty of checking out all the variety of fresh seafood in the restaurant. It was overwhelming.
Thank you, dear Lord, for sending me to Sabah and for having Sabah to be one of the best places in the world for seafood, because what I have in front of me right now is absolutely mind-blowing, okay? It is mind-blasting. It is mind-vaporizing. This here is my favorite dish in the world. This, my friends, is a nice, lush, fresh, juicy oyster. It is absolutely crunchy. It is absolutely fresh. The taste is not compromised by anything. They even serve it sashimi style, which means it comes with a glop of wasabi. The main reason they serve it with is because you got to try to kill some bacteria, if there is any, on a fresh oyster, which is what makes it safer to eat. But no, you don't want to do that. You don't want to ruin the taste of this beautiful, beautiful gem that's been under the sea, cooking itself for yonks. You know, some people, they look for oysters to find the pearls. I say this stuff is the pearl. Next thing on my menu is something I've never had before. This is elephant trunk shellfish. Looking at it, it looks absolutely weird. Okay, I just love my stuff raw. It kind of reminds me of a sotong, but I'm just wondering why is it called an elephant's trunk, because it doesn't really remind me of a trunk more than it does a sotong, but it's okay. This is too good. This is the best part about it though. It's got a lot of meat in it. Look at that. It's just absolutely fantastic. This is my deep-fried mantis prawn. Look at that. Oh my goodness. It is stuck in an entire chunk. I'm sure they've cut out the pincers. No need to stand on ceremony here. I'm gonna use my hand straight away. Now, they've deep-fried it with bits of butter and some salted egg. Back in KL, when we get mantis prawns, they're really small and they're not as satisfying as eating this, because this is absolutely sick. It will destroy you knowing that you can't have this as often as you like. I personally don't want to leave just because of this prawn. So as I was saying, here's a lovely part about it, yeah? You can probably try to catch it yourself. Just come out to Datuk Peter if he's around and say, Datuk, would it be possible if I just go over and fish for my own prawns? He'll probably say, yeah, you can, but it's a dangerous job. Because I'm telling you, man, the pincers on these guys are so sharp. They're kept in bottles in their own cage so they don't harm each other and don't harm you. I don't know what else to say about orgasmic feeling that you get. Next on the menu, this fish I caught myself. Red snapper has always been known to be awesome fish. Now here at Gayang, you never run out. you know you're just gonna get magic on your plate. This is Harry Potter stuff, man. There's a spell to make this fish, you know, and these guys here at Gayang know it. Guardian Special something like that, man. This particular dish is steamed nyonya. Yeah? It's got the right amount of sour, it's got the right amount of sweetness, it's got the right amount of spicy going on. It's not too overbearing. It's gone through some really magical art at the back of the kitchen, mixed with the freshest seafood, caught right before you eat it. Did I mention I have an RRR? I always like to go for a bit of exotic stuff, and here they also have their fresh, because it's still right there, still withering away. I thought it was snake. It's eel. Ooh, nagi. It's deep fried with some dried chilli. Perfect, man. Absolutely perfect. This was definitely a good idea. Seafood is definitely the way to go when you come to Sabah, and only in Gayang can you get it that good. Best in the world.
I love how this place is right smack on the cliff, where you get to enjoy the bounty of the sea, by the sea, with one of the most beautiful sunsets you can ever see. Shades of crimson and indigo. From mountain high to ocean deep, Sabah is definitely the full package. Its history, culture, and food were worth every penny and every second.
Time to flip. Yeah.
Good things are meant to be shared.
I'm eating all the food. Best in the world, baby. Oh, why did I do that?